Okay, so here I go with the last whiskey I'm going to taste for this week and put on camera. I've got 3 whiskeys that I recorded last week that are going to go on camera in the week coming up. And this one is going to be coming up in the week after that. So you'll probably see this video 2 weeks after I produced it. If that makes any sense. I have here some Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon whiskey, and it says put in oak 2008, and I bottled it this year. It's 43.3% alcohol by volume. What else does that? It's gold lettering on a black background. It says Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Okay. What does it say on? Oh, it's got writing on the back here. Oh, it's got really cool stuff here. This is like 8 years old. Oh. Let's pardon me while I turn the light up a little bit so I can read this. It says here, this bourbon was personally selected by our master distiller. Only after meeting his exacting standards for this vintage, taken from a single barrel, it is the art of bourbon making at its finest. Bottled unblended with other barrels to preserve its individuality, hand numbered as a sign of its limited availability. Woo! Barreled on 8/26/08, so the 26th of August 2008, barrel number 403. If you get a hold of a bottle from barrel 403, you'll get the exact same experience as I'm having. And it was bottled on 9/27/16. So this was bottled the 27th of September 2016. So just last year. And of course, distilled and bottled by Evan Williams Distillery Co., Bardstown, Kentucky, USA. Product of USA, produit des États-Unis, return for refund where applicable. Consigné là où la loi le prescrit. 750 mils, 43.3 alcohol by volume. That's all it says. That's all she wrote. Put this magnifier away. Fix the white balance so I look more photogenic. And, oh, there's a thing here too. I forgot to look at this thing. This thing, which was hanging on the collar of the bottle, says, there's bourbon, single barrel bourbon, and Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon. Oh, so they're trying to separate themselves from the crowd. Typically, bourbon is a blend of many barrels. Bourbon bottled from a single barrel is categorized as a single barrel bourbon. Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon, however, is much more. Oh, how so? It's the only single barrel bourbon bottled with a vintage date to provide proof of age and the subtle year-to-year distinctions found in fine wines. What a difference a date makes. Oh, what a little booklet. Whiskey of the year after year after year. Evan Williams single barrel bourbon continues to receive awards and accolades year after year in recognition of its superior qualities. The following are but a few. Oh, here we go. Whiskey of the Year by the Spirit Journal, Domestic Whiskey of the Year by Malt Advocate, Spirit of the Year Bourbon category by Wine and Spirits Buying Guide. Oh my goodness, this is marketing all right. Spirit of the Year American Whiskey category by Food and Wine. Top Spirits of the Year, Best American Whiskey by Wine and Spirits Buying Guide. This distillery has issued a vintage Evan Williams bottling every year since 1986, and each year the whiskey has been better than the previous bottling, says wine enthusiast. Oh, okay. And uncork a bottle of Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon for a date you will always remember. Evan Williams single barrel vintage. This is marketing to the extreme. A special invitation. If you appreciate fine American whiskey, be part of the Bardstown Whiskey Society. You'll get news and information, valuable gifts, and more. Sign up for your free membership. Enter this code www.bardstownwhiskeysociety.com.register. Do I want to do that? I don't know. No. I'll just enjoy the whiskey if it's any good. But I appreciate that. That's going in my pile of things that were hung around the necks of the bottles and so on. There's a bit of dust on here as it's been sitting there patiently for some 2.5 months, seeing as this is from the 15th of April. We're almost into July. Well, I'm a week from July. When you see this, it might be July already. Okay. Such is the nature of pre-recorded videos for YouTube. Let's fix the white balance, shall we? Okay, here we go. I'm just pulling this off of here. Now, is this a cork or a screw top? Oh, it's a cork. It is a real cork. And I got this little piece that came off. Oh. Very gentle, not much of a pop. But this is a full 8 years old Kentucky straight bourbon. I've had Evan Williams before. You know, the less expensive varieties. And much of it is just it's good entry level bourbon whiskey. I've enjoyed Evan Williams several times, and oh look, I was somewhat generous in my pouring. Oh, wait a minute. This has got a beautiful aroma of corn whiskey. Getting butterscotch. I'm getting caramel. Werther's original. Not really much on the rye. Just a lot of toffee, caramel. There is some vanilla beneath that toffee and caramel. I may have to dig deeper, but first I will take a taste. A good little mouthful of water. Maybe have some Orkney oatcakes. Maybe one oatcake will do it. Take out what little flavor is left from the liquid that I had. And that liquid was fine, let me tell you. Ah, like I said, this has a beautiful nose. It's got toffee and caramel, a little bit of vanilla, but then there's that typical cherry note that you get from fine bourbons, and even not so fine bourbons. Mm. It's got quite a viscous and at the same time alkaline, slippery mouthfeel. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is full bodied. It's rich. There's caramel. I'm getting toffee. Toffee, caramel. Toffee, caramel. You can't. Ah. This is lovely stuff. Very fine. What did I pay? Evan Williams single barrel, 750 mils, $68.61. And of course, 5% GST. So maybe $3.50 or so. Liquor tax, $7. So $10 on top of the 68.61. Let's say almost $80 for a single barrel, 8 years old. $80. You know, compared to Scotch, really, really fine bourbon and very wonderful Canadian whiskey can be had for half the price of what, at least here, for what I pay for Scotch. And this is just beautiful. It's just caramel and toffee and cherries and really heavy corn. Not much in the way of rye. Maybe there's a bit of malted barley in the mash bill, but not a lot of rye, and there's much corn. And there are spices brought on by the Virgin American oak to give it a little bit more, make it more a little interesting. But yeah, I could go on nosing this all night long. And I'm saying night because it's about 1:10 a.m. Ah, fine whiskey. Evan Williams, you know, I found Evan Williams to be good in the introductory entry level Evan Williams. Evan Williams at the entry level, shall we say, was good. But this one is great. I may never find this one again because it was a single barrel. And these show up on the shelf at rare instances. But yeah, it is a beautiful whiskey. Oh wait, now I'm getting a little more vanilla now that the caramel and toffee has sort of gone to the side. It's still all there, but now I'm getting a little more vanilla. For bourbon to change as you go, like a scotch does, that, my friends, is quality. Otherwise, bourbon, it smells the same, it tastes the same from, for a while. But this one is changing as it is in the glass. As it is oxidizing in the glass, it is changing and getting different. More vanilla, a little less toffee, but it's just lovely stuff. There's almost a little bit of a Coca-Cola note on the palate now. Yeah, there is a Coca-Cola note on the palate, which is wonderful, but on the nose, I'm still getting toffee and vanilla. Oh, they did a fabulous job on this one. I would say cheers, and to your very good health, and may your troubles be few.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.